This is a video about Mulan, differences between the original version, like the Ballad of Mulan, as well as the Disney animated version, and the upcoming live-action film, which, is Mushu in that one?
I am the powerful, the pleasurable, the indestructible Mushu. Oh, pretty high, huh?
Is Mushu in that? Check IMDb. Eddie Murphy. No. No Eddie Murphy? So no Mushu, is that right? Can that be right? Greg?
No.
Kathy? Well, I'll be honest, my enthusiasm is beginning to wane. Okay, let's get down to business. A quick recap, and then we'll talk about what really happened. What happened in the original Mulan story. It's different, you'll see. Can you imagine making a video if the original version, the Ballad of Mulan, and the Disney version were exactly the same?
Hey guys, this is a video about Mulan. The Disney version and the original version are exactly the same. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a like. I'll see you next time.
You know the Disney story. Mulan is not interested in boys. There's a draft. Her father is too old and too injured to join the military. Mulan takes his place. Mushu. Cricket. She's a useless warrior, but then, a few minutes later, she's amazing. Sexual tension, but she's a guy, so. The Hun. Fight, fight, fight. Avalanche. Spoiler alert. China is saved. The Emperor is saved. Hey, your dad's still alive, and he's proud of you. Handsome Dan is still interested. Classic. So what about the original story that everything is based on, the Ballad of Mulan? It's from the 11th century. It's short. I read the whole thing while I was Interesting. That's the classic story, but there are actually quite a few stories and versions, and it's all a bit fuzzy. Besides the Ballad of Mulan, there's the Sui Tang romance. Please forgive me if my pronunciation is wrong. I'm not sure. It was written in the 1600s, and fair warning, it does not end well. Same goes for the biography of the extraordinary Mulan. More on that later. So now, what you came for, the differences between the original version and the Disney animated version. The basic premise in all versions is the same. Mulan pretends to be a man and takes the place of her aging father so that he isn't drafted. The common theme of all Mulan stories is filial piety, duty to family, loyalty to country, and female strength. If it were me and Mulan in a cage fight, she would win, and I might enjoy it a little too much. If it were me in Mulan's place, I'd say, oh, come on, Dad, stop complaining. Get out there, join the war for old time's sake. It's just a bad leg. In the animated Disney version, after she joins the military, things go pretty poorly. She fights like a girl, and only gets good with the help of a very fortunate and very timely montage song. But in the original story, in the ballad, she comes in and starts kicking ass from day one. All the other dudes are like, wow, that's a very manly soldier over there, and he's got wushu moves to spare. They're all really impressed and not even vaguely attracted to Mulan because she's a guy, right? Now I'd like to just take a moment and make a prediction about the film coming out in 2020. From the trailer, it looks like Mulan is still at home practicing some kind of martial arts. This may be where the 2020 film takes more inspiration from the original story as opposed to the Disney animated version. I think she's gonna have skills to spare. Let's proceed with the differences. In the Ballad of Mulan, the only companion she has at first is the horse she buys before she leaves from the market. The horse store, obviously. Excuse me, is this the horse store? No, this is the camel store. Oh, where's the horse store? So there's no cricket in the original, and there's no Mushu. No Mushu. I'm not okay with that. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. In the Sui Tang romance story, another female warrior, Princess Xianyang, finds out that Mulan is a woman and becomes her closest friend. They become sworn sisters. There are a few key differences in Mulan's home life between the original and the Disney animated version. Number one, nobody is looking for a husband for her, like in the Disney version. And there's no handsome Dan, General Li Shang. Sorry. Oh, also, in the poem, she has a little brother who doesn't go to war because he's just a baby, which is fair enough, I guess. Babies make terrible soldiers. but they are great bosses. What about the ending, or rather, endings? The Ballad of Mulan and the Disney version are pretty much the same. She is offered the title of general by the Emperor, refuses, says she wants a swift horse, or camel in some of the versions I've seen, I prefer camel, goes home and is welcomed with open arms by her family. In the ballad, 10 years have passed. Some versions say 12. Doesn't matter. Her little brother, who is presumably not a baby anymore, kills a goat and a pig with a knife that he sharpens all by himself. I'm not sure why the poem focuses so much on that part. It's a bit weird. Now here's something that's different. In the ballad, she's accompanied home by her fellow soldiers, by her comrades. When they get there, she goes into the home of her parents and changes out of her camos and her combat boots, gets all done up with some yellow flower powder, and then literally struts out of the house in a very sexy way. And all of her comrades, their jaws hit the floor. They had no idea. She was a girl the whole time. I find it hard to believe. In the new movie, even when she's in her soldier getup, she looks pretty good. Here's my theory. I think in all versions of the story, everybody knew. They just didn't want to say anything. They didn't want the other soldiers to think they were playing for the other team if they said, hey, do you think that new recruit Mulan is really good looking, or is that just me? That's my theory. Now, in some other versions, like the Sui Tung romance, which I've mentioned, things go very differently. She's engaged to some general named Luocheng, or I don't know how to say it, and the emperor, at the end of the story, gives her money to take home for her parents and to pay for the wedding. Sounds great, sounds nice. Well, left turn, when she gets home, her father is dead. Her mother is remarried, and a horse milk drinking king named Khan has demanded that she become one of his concubines. She sends a letter to Khan that says, nope, and then she sends a letter to her boyfriend that says, maybe next time, and then she kills herself. And that's the end of the story. Now, you may call me a silly, sentimental American, but I think the Disney animated version is the best of all possible versions, and I think it's going to be better than the live-action film coming out as well. Prediction: Mulan finds a happy ending with her family and even gets a boyfriend, while at the same time maintaining her status as a strong woman who puts family above everything else. And Mushu and Grandma, it's the whole package. That all said, here's where I hope the 2020 film goes. Instead of making Mulan a pathetic fighter at first, like in the animated version, have her come in with skills to spare, like in the original story, and give her another uphill struggle, a different one, like learning how to lead, or dealing with the fact that Mushu isn't in the movie. Speaking of Mushu, put Mushu in. Hire Eddie Murphy and put Mushu in. I'm worried that the live-action film is going to take itself a bit too seriously, and if it does, it's going to miss a lot of what makes the animated version a classic. Finally, I'm hoping at the end, after they save the Emperor, that she asks for a camel from the Emperor instead of a horse, because I've seen both in different versions of the story, and I just think a camel is much better. Can you imagine Mulan riding home from war in the sunset on a camel at top speed, Mushu on her shoulder? Great. And I think the original story, the ballad, does the big reveal well when her comrades find out that she's actually not a man. So it would be good to have all of her comrades from the war accompany her home, also on camels too, by the way, of course. They all ride camels back to Mulan's house at top speed. Her family, obviously, is overjoyed, and when Mulan comes out of the house with her lady clothes on, they have to pretend to be shocked, but you can tell from their faces that they were pretty sure the whole time. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.